Hello, I'm Brigantia of Blackbird of Blackbird's Brew. Happy Friday. This is Storyteller's Corner, and this week we're talking about Cold Comfort Farm. As you can tell, Cold Comfort Farm is a novel by Stella Gibbons. It was first published in 1932. And then we have the movie, which came out in 1995, directed by John Schlesinger. Kate Beckinsale plays the main character, Flora Post. If you take a look at her, oh, there we go. You can see this is a very young Kate Beckinsale. But in the movie, we also see Joanna Lumley, Rufus Sewell, Ian McKellen, Stephen Fry, and Eileen Atkins in supporting roles. So I don't think you'll be disappointed if you decide to look up the movie. So in the story, we meet Flora Post as a young woman in the early 1930s. She has recently been orphaned, and she decided that her next step in life was to go and live with some relative. She has ambitions to write a novel in 30 years' time, and in between, now and then, she's going to be collecting material. So Flora sends out what she calls piteous letters to relatives all around the country, informing them of her parents' deaths and her challenging financial circumstances. In the end, she travels to Cold Comfort Farm, which boasts the most peculiar grouping of relatives in her family tree. Flora likes to organize things and tidy up, and she finds plenty to do at Cold Comfort Farm. And this becomes a story of a gentle transformation journey in which she coaxes out of her relatives what they're actually wanting out of life and persuades them that it's possible for them to achieve it, and then helps throw them in the general direction of fate so they can then create lives of their own making. So the inmates of Cold Comfort Farm are just a touch eccentric. To begin with, we have the matriarch of this branch of the family, a terrifying and a tyrannical, very elderly great aunt Ada Doom. She keeps to her room, she speaks only to her daughter Judith, and she rules the farm and all those on it with an iron fist. Her catchphrase in both the book and in the movie is, "I saw something nasty in the woodshed," which somehow this statement constitutes a reason for everyone on the farm to do absolutely everything she says, and she just tosses that out, and then they do what she says. It's weird. You either have to read the book or watch the movie to be able to see just the power of that phrase. Next, we have Judith and Amos Starkadder. They are an ill-matched married couple. They have 3 adult children together. Judith is morbid. She is consumed with a sense of dread, has a very distorted view of reality. And then you have Amos, whose true calling in life is to be a fire and brimstone preacher. He's frustrated with his life on the farm. This isn't where he wants to be, what he wants to be doing. He would rather be preaching in the middle of town square, creating a religious ruckus. That's what he's built for. So then we have Seth, Reuben, and Alphine, and they are the children of Judith and Amos. Seth is very passionate, very promiscuous, and he is totally obsessed with movies. He has a calling to be an actor. Then we have Reuben, who loves the farm, which is probably one of the few members of the family who actually does love the farm. And he loves the work. He is a man of the land, and he just wishes everyone else would get out of his way so he could get some work done, take charge, and get a grip on what needs to happen. Then we have Alphine. She's very dreamy. She loves poetry. And she has a secret romance that she's been carrying on with the local squire's only son. Next, we have Adam, who's an older relative, and it's never really defined, I don't think, how exactly he is attached to the family, but he's just there almost as part of the landscape. He's excellent at looking after the cows, very sweet-tempered, but he's not suited to take over the farm after Amos, and Amos keeps threatening to leave it to him, so that's a big problem. And then we have Urk. U-R-K, I kid you not, that is this poor creature's name. Urk is obsessed with Alphine, and he is not a suitable match for her, so that's a mess. And then we have the keeper, housekeeper, Mrs. Beadle, who's all but given up on keeping the house in order or having any kind of sensible routine at that farm. And then there is Mrs. Beadle's daughter. I had their name on the tip of my tongue, but it left me. But this daughter is perpetually pregnant. Goodness knows how many different fathers for all of her various children. And she has a tendency to be a bit slovenly, lacking in ambition. It's just not really caring about anything or anyone, very, very apathetic. And then lastly, we have Cousin Rennet in the background. She is always in need of a bath, she seldom speaks, and she is always ignored. So our Flora has her work cut out for her, and gradually we watch her draw people out, give them gentle little nudges in the direction of things that they actually want, and without spoiling the story, we begin to watch things gradually get better for the farm, the family as a whole, but there's a lot of humor and a lot of twists and turns on the way there. What I love about this story is that it illustrates how it is possible to persuade without being manipulative, how to manage a situation without becoming a control freak, and how to help without making someone's choices for them. And these are lessons we could all stand to learn, and that there would be a huge societal benefit if that was accomplished on a grand scale. Lots of people want to be helpful and have, benevolent intentions, but the success rate when they try to put those intentions into practice and the success rate of the methods they tend to use is just absolutely abysmal. That brings up the question, is there a better way? Surely there must be. A way that actually achieves the goal without robbing someone else of their agency and their dignity.